Championship rings and things what we about. Competition out, down for the count. Dfdubb's about, stacked in our clout. No slack in our game, that's without doubt. Every snap, every pass, every running route. Every play of every game, man, we gon' scout. Players might rise and fall and then bust. Dfdubb provides it all you can trust. Trophies on the mantle, dubs on the panel. Opponents can't stand you, don't change the channel. Sit back, relax, take notes for a bit. Dfdubb scrubs on the throne winning ships. Dfdubb scrubs coming up. Dfdubb scrubs giving dubs.
But let them ride or die. All right, we got Washington and Dallas, man. I think Dallas about to be 3-1, baby.
They very well could be.
Cooper Rush has stepped in pretty well for Dak. He hasn't been phenomenal by any stretch. Probably not startable.
And he's 3-0.
Maybe he might be startable. He's 3-0. He beat Kirk Cousins in primetime last year. He just beat who did we just play? He played the Giants last week in primetime.
Mm-hmm.
He's 2-0 in primetime games, 3-0 overall. He hasn't been like spectacular or anything, but he's just made the right plays at the right time. Hasn't made any mistakes, and is just getting those dubs slowly but surely. You have Carson Wentz on the opposite spectrum, who had 2 back-to-back 30-plus point games and 6-point passing leagues, and then he had a complete dud last week with 6.
They played Jacksonville.
He's playing the Cowboys defense. Unbiasedly, I think Cowboys defense is one of the top in the NFL. I think it's going to be kind of a low scoring game. Maybe in the teens, 20-17, something like that, 19-16. Maybe a little bit higher than that, give or take. I wouldn't feel comfortable playing Wentz this week. I wouldn't feel comfortable playing Rush. But if you're picking between Russell Wilson, or like Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady,
I think you go with
a lot of underwhelming.
I think I would go Carson Wentz over those. They've been pretty porous this start of the year. So, I mean, yeah, Wentz is playing Dallas defense, and I will give it to him. Dallas has had a really good defense this year so far. But Wentz likes to throw, and they seem to be letting him just throw the ball over there. So, I mean, I would start him over Russell, Brady, and the who else? Whoever else you said.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I would probably start him over
Matthew Stafford.
I'm not starting him over Matthew Stafford.
Aaron Rodgers.
No, I'm playing Aaron Rodgers. Our secondary's been boo boo.
All right, what about Trevor Lawrence?
I'm starting Trevor Lawrence
against Philly.
Yeah, Lawrence has been looking good, man. Like, he's coming off a hot game last week.
Yeah. What about Derek Carr?
I'm starting Derek Carr.
I got you. I don't know, man. I might play Rush over Wentz, to be honest. If I had to.
Yeah. I don't think I would.
I just don't. I don't think he's gonna be that good. It's like Dallas held Brady to 12 6-point passing points in week 1 with all his weapons. Well, Chris Godwin left early, but yeah, I don't see it. Are they playing at Dallas? Yeah, they're playing here. So Antonio Gibson, he's been serviceable. Zeke had the best game of his year last week because he had a touchdown. He looked good. He looks good rushing, but he doesn't get all the work.
Nah.
So he's
averaging. His yards per carry is what, like around five or so, 5 or 6. Like, he's, rushing aspect wise, he's looking great. He's looking good. Fantasy perspective,
he's not getting
so
targets.
Much. Yeah, it's all Tony.
Yeah,
Pollard.
for the team, yeah, it's Tony. I mean, honestly, Tony and Zeke have been underwhelming as far as fantasy goes, but for the team, they've been phenomenal together. Like there's no reason for the Cowboys not to do what they've been doing, is running Zeke and Tony Pollard and just kind of keeping them both fresh, and Tony being that explosive guy and Zeke getting those hard yards up the middle and whatnot.
They're great.
It's just been working for the team.
For each other.
Yeah, it's just fantasy-wise, it's going to be hard to trust either one of those guys any given week.
I think if you have to go with one, though, you're going with Pollard, I believe.
Yeah, you're going to go for that boom, hopefully, that 40-yard play.
Yeah.
And if you go with Zeke, I think he might be better when Dak gets back, just because I feel like they'll have more
goal line scenarios.
More opportunities. Yeah, more opportunities in the red zone. So for now, if you're going to pick one, I'm benching Zeke. And then hoping Pollard can have some big plays.
Yeah.
So
on the other side, as far as CeeDee Lamb, you're playing CeeDee Lamb.
And a great throw. When you're talking about running the route from the 2-yard line there, that ball's got to come out quick from the quarterback. They're just not. You run out of real estate if you don't get that ball up quick. He lays it on the outside shoulder perfectly, and Lamb, with one arm, makes it look routine.
Wow, looking over his left shoulder.
Gets it down. That's a touchdown.
Going to the ground, gathers it in initially with one hand. A spectacular catch by the rookie out of Oklahoma.
Man, that was awesome. Looking like Adam Thielen from the other side, right? CeeDee Lamb has to adjust. I can't describe how hard it is to look over one shoulder, then fall back with one hand to corral that ball.
This might be the last week that he's playable at the low end flex, just because Gallup's back. But I wouldn't feel comfortable starting Gallup, not yet. And then Brown, we'll see how it goes. Maybe, because they're not going to give Gallup all the snaps, but he is going to cut in a little bit. Then on the other side, Gibson and McKissick. You're probably not playing McKissick. Gibson has been serviceable as a low end RB. RB2.
Yeah, he's been a low end RB2.
For the year, I think he's a high end RB2, but he's only been putting up like about 10, 11 points the last 2 games. So he's definitely playable if you have to. As far as the receivers go, you got Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Jahan Dotson. I'm probably not playing Dotson. Honestly, if I'm gonna play one of these guys, it's gonna be Curtis Samuel, just because he gets so many targets.
I'm with you on that one.
I don't think McLaurin's gonna have a good game.
Nah, I would.
I think Samuel.
I would sit McLaurin. I'd go as far as to sit McLaurin this week.
Okay, so McLaurin or Josh Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds.
McLaurin or Richie James.
I think I would take a flyer on McLaurin.
McLaurin, I think Richie James. McLaurin or Josh Palmer.
Oof. Josh Palmer. I would take a chance on Josh Palmer. With no Keenan, I think I'd take a chance on him.
Yeah, I don't think McLaurin's gonna have a very good game. And then on Schultz might be back. I don't know how comfortable you'd be starting him. And then Logan Thomas on the other end. Are you comfortable starting either of those guys? Schultz coming back off an injury, and then Logan Thomas. He's a streamable tight end, but like I said, he is playing Dallas.
If I had to pick between the two, I would probably lean more towards Logan Thomas right now, just because Wentz is going to throw the ball a lot. I'm like, rushes look good, but it's not translating anything worth towards fantasy purposes. And really, the only one on that Cowboys receiving core I trust to play for sure is CeeDee Lamb. I'm gonna start Logan Thomas, I think, over Schultz.
Yeah. And then I'm playing Dallas defense.
Oh yeah, I would too. Wentz is gonna throw a pick.
I think he's gonna. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Wentz is definitely giving up something, and then as long as Michael Parsons is playing, you're gonna get some sacks.
Let me say this for the record though too, because I get a lot of flack from my buddy Bo. he's a big Wentz fan this year because he has him on a super flex league. But Wentz isn't like a terrible quarterback. In my opinion, he's just not an accurate quarterback. Like,
I say he's like Jameis Winston.
Yeah, he has a lot of throwing. He gets a lot of throwing volume, but he's just not very he's not consistently productive with it as far as like to be I'm gonna grab that as my quarterback and I'm just gonna leave him in and he's it for the rest of the season. Like he's a good bye week fill in, super flex play at the most.
Like I mean, literally, you can just go off of this season so far. He had 2 really good games.
Yeah, and then
last week he had a complete stinker where he lost you.
Yeah, no, he ate dirt.
Yeah, like he put up 6 points. Like yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next one, we got Jacksonville and Philly. Let's try. Damn, we literally got to pick it up now.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, you playing him? Jalen Hurts playing him? James Robinson,
you
playing him? All right, let's get to these running backs right quick. Travis Etienne, Miles Sanders. Are you playing either of those guys?
I'm playing Miles Sanders because I believe it is one of the two, Boston Scott or Kenneth Gainwell. They are out for this week, so that's less touches. That's more touches for Sanders at this point. And Sanders hasn't looked utterly terrible. That offense actually has looked pretty decent so far this season. So I would feel safe plugging in Sanders for this week, especially against the Jacksonville defense. I mean, they didn't look terrible last week against Washington, but I think out of all of those, I'd play Sanders. ETN, maybe in a flex spot if you really don't have anybody else, but he hasn't been all that impressive this year.
Oh, Boston Scott, yeah. For sure. I know you're a James Robinson owner.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about him? Are you comfortable? You want to hang on to him for the rest of the year? Or would you think? Or are you going to try to sell him high before you?
I'm hanging on to him, honestly. I think he did good last year, or was it last year before he got hurt or whatever? I think
2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago? I'm keeping James Robinson for the season. I think they're gonna keep him and keep doing what he's doing. I mean, it's working for them. It's they're using him and it's opening up a lot of the passing lanes for him and stuff because you gotta respect that run game at that point. So,
if somebody offered you Aaron Jones,
oof, man, you put it that way. I may take Aaron Jones, honestly. Just because I think you said in the previous podcast he is good for. I mean, he's up and down, but if he's up, he's going to give you that 30-something point game possibly. James Robinson, he's going to be a consistent 15 to 16 point player a week for sure.
What about Leonard Fournette?
I would trade him for Lenny.
Okay. What about Dalvin Cook?
I keep Robinson.
Ooh.
I keep Robinson over Dalvin Cook.
Derrick Henry.
Oof. If that trade would actually be possible to happen, probably yes, but there's no way. There's no way Derrick Henry. Crenshaw said in the last episode, his brother.
Have you offered it?
I haven't offered it, bro. I've thought about it.
Yeah, you don't want to, right?
I don't really want
you don't
to.
want Derrick Henry.
Not really, no, honestly. I like James Robinson.
So then that's a no. Yeah, I was about to say, you offer it. It doesn't hurt. You got to offer it. The worst they could do is decline it.
I mean, Derrick Henry looked good last game, but I don't know. I like James Robinson for this year. He's
Javonte Williams.
I'm keeping James Robinson. That offense.
James Conner.
I have James Conner, so I would keep James Robinson though at this point. Conner's been kind of disappointing. That whole offense has been disappointing.
Okay. What about CeeDee Lamb?
If you need a decent wide receiver, sure. If you're okay on running backs and Robinson's like a flex play for you, then sure. But because I mean I think if I'm not mistaken, that's where he was kind of being drafted, was like a flex player's player. So yeah, you would probably
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Hell no, I don't want anything to do with CEH.
You don't want CEH, but you want to keep James Robinson?
I would keep James Robinson over.
What about
CEH.
Cordero Patterson?
No.
These are like 3 guys that are in the top 10, and just like, what the hell? Where these guys come from?
No. I mean, Cordell, you can kind of see it because he gets the volume, but
Oh, Jamal Williams, he's there too.
yeah, I think I still want to keep Robinson. I'm gonna hang on to him.
Okay. All right, let's get to the
Receivers.
Christian Kirk.
Obviously, you're playing Christian Kirk.
Awesome. Playing Christian Kirk, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
I think you got to play him. You got to play him after the
both of them at this point.
Yeah.
What about Dallas Goedert?
Yeah, you play him. I mean, he's what, top 10? I mean, obviously top 10 tight end, but yeah, I play Dallas Goedert.
Okay, and then what about what's it called? What about the defenses? You playing Philly defense?
I think there's a chance you could take. I think there's a path, obviously, for them to be good. They've been pretty on fire the first 3 weeks, so yeah, I would maybe take a swing and play Philly's defense.
So you expect Robinson to have a good game?
I want Robinson to have a good game very much so, yes. But I am very nervous because that Philly defense has looked pretty fucking good. So
I don't know. They gave up like 30-something points to the Lions, so they almost won that game. The Lions,
yeah, but they had a couple picks. Or no, that was against Minnesota. Never mind. I'm tripping. But Buffalo and Baltimore, bro.
Damn, that's a noon game too.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, keep going, bro.
We got Buffalo and Baltimore. Obviously, you're starting Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They're both having hella good years. Singletary or Dobbins, man? Are you starting any of those?
No,
I don't think so either. Honestly, I don't think you're starting either of those teams' running backs this week.
not yet.
No.
Like Dobbins, I'm interested in Dobbins. If you can get him for the low, I'd be interested in trading for him. Like I would trade Singletary. Just came off a big game. I would try to trade Singletary for Dobbins just to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up anything big. But I do kind of want to see how he ends up.
You got Diggs and Bateman.
Go ahead. You're playing Diggs.
You're obviously playing Diggs. I think you're gonna play Gabriel Davis if he plays. He
says he's playing.
Yeah, honestly, you kind of want to play Isaiah McKenzie as well. Like he hasn't been an afterthought on that offense. He's been.
I think is McKenzie surpassing Davis? I think Davis just might be that deep threat guy.
That's kind of what I've been looking at because McKenzie's been seeing a lot of spot targets and he's been looking good.
Not so much like a wide receiver too, as more of a just like a deep threat, blown coverage.
Yeah.
You know, let's take a shot, and Davis is there. So McKenzie might be more of the reliable as the year goes on. And I know Davis was getting a lot of hype.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into the Baltimore. Obviously, Jackson's been playing out of his mind. I'm excited about this game.
Yeah.
But I'm also scared that both defenses are going to come to play because they're going to be like, oh, you know, F these guys, and that's kind of what it's setting up to be. It's anytime we feel like maybe a potential high scoring game or exciting game comes about, it's usually the defenses that show up to prove that they're still around. Buffalo obviously has a great defense. Baltimore was playing good, and then they give up a lot of points to whatchamacallit. They lost to both these teams lost to the Dolphins.
We almost had a comeback from behind win on them last week too. Before freaking Nelson Aguilar had the ball punched out of him when he fumbled it. It had me so mad.
Yeah, you also
concussed
Tua.
Okay, like shit.
You tried to concuss Tua. What about Rashad Bateman or Devin Duvernay? Both of these guys are top 25 receivers. Because Lamar Jackson.
Honestly,
are you interested in playing either of these guys?
I say no. I say sit Rashad Bateman. Play Mark Andrews, obviously. I don't know.
You think Jackson is going to have a good game, or could this be one of those down to earth? He might be in the 15s, in the teens, maybe.
I think he still can have a good game just because his rushing upside is ridiculous. Like, the dude's just a freak when he gets going out in open field. I think he's going to have a good game just because of his rushing upside. I don't think he's going to have a very good passing game this week. But just because the Bills,
Mark Andrews.
Yeah. Mark Andrews is an automatic
I'm
starter.
sitting Mark Andrews.
Get out of
wait,
here,
what?
bro. Get out of
I'm
here.
just
No, you ain't. Get out of it. I dare
Automatic
you.
sit?
I dare
Nah.
you to sit Mark
Hell
Andrews
no.
this week. I think you
Then
need to
Dawson
play
Knox. You playing Dawson Knox?
I am not actually. I have benched him in
First of all, Dawson Knox should not be in. He should not be in a roster right now, bro. Why you still have him rostered?
Because of the offense. Like, yeah,
He obviously doesn't throw
he
to
got
Dawson
paid.
Knox.
Yeah, but
McKenzie, Davis, and Diggs.
Last year he was, he did pretty decent last year. He got paid this offseason, so you would automatically assume that they were going to use him. At this point, he's just a boomer bust. Like, he's just super TD dependent.
Are you playing either of these?
I went out and picked up Robert Tonyan, and I'm playing him over Dawson Knox
Bro,
this week.
drop Dawson Knox. If he has a good game, you can get him off the
I
waivers.
know. I've already dropped
but
him.
Right now, he's clogging up.
I dropped him for Robert Tonyan.
I was talking to the audience.
My bad.
Buffalo, or are you playing Buffalo's defense?
Honestly, I want to say yes, but I'm a little nervous just because of the hot start that Lamar has started off with. But I think
Lamar's playing out of his mind. MVP.
Yeah, and the way Miami just kind of did their defense, I think you play them with some caution.
Look, copycat league.
You play them with some caution.
Would you rather play Buffalo defense or New Orleans?
New Orleans.
What about the other side? Minnesota against Andy Dalton and without Winston or Thomas.
I'd almost want to play Minnesota over Buffalo's this week.
Yeah. I hope this is a shootout. I hope this is
I really want it to be a shootout.
At least a 30-27 game. I don't want to see no 19-15,
I have Lamar
19-16
Jackson. I
game.
want it to be a freaking shootout. This boy's been on fire this year.
That being said, I think Lamar's going to have a 17-point game.
It very well could be. It very well could be.
It could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
All right, Arizona, Carolina. Kyler Murray has been not great, still serviceable, but not what you expect. Mayfield's been absolutely garbage. Please, for the love of God, please, as a DJ Moore owner and a CMC owner in multiple leagues, please bring back Sam Darnold.
Isn't he injured still? You wanted to magically fix his leg? I think he broke his leg.
Is James Conner playing?
Yes, he is. Plug him in.
Are you starting James Conner?
I am starting James Conner.
Are you starting CMC?
Of course, yeah, starting CMC.
Are you starting DJ Moore?
I think you have to. I think this could be it's reaching a little bit, but I think it could be a get right week for DJ Moore against the Arizona defense.
Needs to be. If this is Arizona's defense is complete trash.
Yes.
If DJ Moore does not have some type of good game this week,
drop him.
Just
I mean, 'cause at this point, nobody's going to trade for him. If he has a
they're not,
game,
and you know what?
You better try to trade everything you can for him.
And somebody's going to come. You're going to drop him. Somebody's going to pick him up. Somebody's going to put in some fab on him.
Oh yeah.
And then you know what? Then he's going to be good after that. I'm gonna be like, let's get DJ Moore.
You're overthinking it, bro. He ain't gonna be good.
No, that's how it goes.
Nah, not with Baker back there.
He's been a wide receiver too ever since he's been in the league. Like that's what he is. He's a high upside wide receiver too. Benjamin. Oh, these are. You're not playing Robbie Anderson. Marquise Brown.
Obviously
playing Marquise.
Oh yeah, he's been on fire.
What about the boy Greg Dortch? You playing that boy?
I think you're gonna
Make
have
sure you
to.
put him in your lineup.
You're gonna have to go ahead and play Greg Dortch this week. I think it's his
You
last.
playing Greg Dortch
It's
this
his
week,
last
sir.
week of probably playable play. So go ahead and fire Greg Dortch.
I'm
up.
playing Dortch over Bateman. I'm playing Dortch over.
Really? That's surprising, seeing as you were so high on Bateman this year.
Oh, they're playing Buffalo, bro. I'm talking about this week. I'm playing Dortch over the. I'm playing Dortch over the Washington receivers. I'm playing Dortch over the whole Chicago, New York Giants receivers. I'm playing him over Thielen. I'm playing him over Jamar Chase. And he already played. But yeah, start Dortch.
Go ahead and plug
This might
Dortch
be his
in.
last.
Yeah.
Might be his last game. That's about it.
Yeah.
Denver, Las Vegas, Russ versus Carr. Russ needs to have a good game here, otherwise he might hit the waivers as well.
Yeah. He could.
He's playing Las Vegas. Yeah. How comfortable are you playing Russ?
I think if you're wanting him to have a good game, this is going to be the week to have it. So I would plug him in this week.
Yeah, if you can't play him if you're scared to play him this game, or you can't play him this game, then what's he doing on your team?
Yeah,
just drop him, bro.
At that point, yeah.
If you're scared of him playing against the Raiders, then there's no point of him being on your team. Derek Carr, not playing Derek Carr, bro. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, 2 flex plays. They cancel each other out. Josh Jacobs.
You're playing
Josh Jacobs just off of volume and whatnot. Cortland Sutton. You're playing Cortland Sutton. You're playing Devontae Adams. Renfro's out. Matt Collins is a big.
I think he's a good
big waiver guy. Jerry Jeudy, who's been super underwhelming the last 2 weeks. I mean, he got hurt week 2, but he came back last week. He was garbage. He had a great week 1. Are you comfortable playing Jerry Jeudy this week? If you believe in,
you're most likely going to be playing Jerry Jeudy if you have some of those wide receivers that are out this week. Then you're probably plugging Jerry Jeudy in. I think you'd be in all right against the Raiders. I think Russ gets it together this week and has a good game and can suffice 2 wide receivers this week. And Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are probably going to be your guys you want plugged in. Obviously, Sutton.
Obviously, you're playing. Yeah. Obviously, you're playing Darren Waller, Albert O, Albert who?
Yeah. No. You're definitely playing Devontae.
And you can go ahead and fire up that defense too, just in case.
Which
Denver defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carr could throw a couple picks.
He's usually good for 1.
Yeah. Then New England and Green Bay. This is going to be an absolute massacre.
This is going to be a rough game.
You're playing. I don't know how Rodgers is going to do because, I mean, how's New England's defense looking this year? Are you playing Rodgers?
Yeah, I would play Rodgers.
Over Russ?
Yeah, I would play Rodgers over Russ.
What about Brian Hoyer?
Really?
You're sitting Hoyer. You're sitting the wide receivers. I mean, if you have to, you have to. But if you play receiver, I'm playing Dortch.
You're playing Jacoby Myers if you're playing any of the receivers. If he plays this week, he is questionable for this week. You're definitely plugging in Dez, Vermont Stevenson. You're plugging in most likely Damian Harris just because they're going to run the ball. Yeah, that's probably about it on that team. I wouldn't even really touch the receivers, honestly, but yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't. I'd say I'll play Richie James over both of them.
I would go take some flyers on some toss-ups with good upside this week.
I play Mac Hollins over those guys. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
I think they're both plug-in starters.
A little bit underwhelming. Yeah.
Play them both.
They have, but playing both and hope for the best, basically.
Play Romeo
Then you have Lazard. Is Christian Watson back this week?
I don't think so, to be honest. I can find out real quick. He might be, but I still say I think Dobbs is the guy to want on that offensive wide receiving core. He is going to play this week. He was removed from the thing.
Yeah,
Could be
I
on
wouldn't
the
play him,
Snapchat.
but
Yeah, I think you're
I
playing
think
Romeo
that could hurt
Dobbs.
Dobbs.
Dobbs look good.
I mean, I wouldn't be looking to start him though. I'd have him on my bench. I'd try to have him on my team and then have him on bench and see how he plays. It's not somebody that I'm like, man, I got to plug this guy into my lineup. Not yet, at least, because with the healthy Watson and Lazard coming back, Tanyan with another healthy week, I just wait. I'm not.
We ranked 28 in secondary, so I think you could start Romeo Dobbs with some confidence this week.
Dobbs or Lazard?
Dobbs. I like Dobbs. I don't think, me personally, I don't think Lazard is a wide receiver one type of player for the Packers. He's had multiple chances in the past, and he's never lived up to it, so.
Okay. Personally, I'd probably just wait one more week, see how that offense looks. Watson could be limited, though, so.
But there is a lot of wide receivers down this week, so,
Yeah, that's true. Green Bay, you're playing Green Bay defense with confidence.
Oh, yeah. And that's coming from a Patriots
Kansas
fan.
City, Sunday night game, we got Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Mahomes versus Brady. Brady could have all his weapons back. Julio and Godwin are game time decisions. Mike Evans is back from his suspension.
He's a must start.
Obviously, you got playoff Lenny. And then obviously you got Mahomes, you got Juju. The only receiver I'd feel comfortably starting is Juju.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other guys are complete flyers. And obviously Kelsey, you're starting Kelsey.
100%.
And then you're riding CEH until the wheels fall off. This could be
you're probably trying
this
to
could be one of those games.
Try and trade CEH while the value is there.
I would probably try to trade him before this game.
Yes.
I don't know how well he's gonna do against Tampa.
Yeah.
But you're playing Evans. If Julio and Godwin play, are you comfortable playing them, or you rather sit him on the bench?
I'm comfortable playing Godwin.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he always looks good with Brady out there. So
yes, sir. I just made a trade this today to turn my franchise around. I traded a certain DeAndre Swift, the most electrifying running back in the game, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. I flipped him for Damian Pierce and Mike Evans. How do you feel about that trade?
Honestly, it's not a bad trade. You're giving up you're giving up DeAndre Swift, who's a freaking monster. But yeah, that's a pretty fair trade long term if you really think about it. You're getting that touchdown machine in Mike Evans and Damian Pierce. We really haven't seen his ceiling yet, I think. So he's been looking good, but. Only like I said earlier, the only thing that worries me about Damian Pierce is Houston playing from behind and them leaning on Burkhead more in the passing down back role than Pierce.
So but let's be real. You think Johnny won that trade, right?
No.
You still think I won that trade?
I do think you won that trade, honestly. Just because
I disagree. I think right now, obviously,
right now, of course you did. Yes, DeAndre Swift is good, but Jamal Williams is still there to vulture those damn touchdowns.
We still have
right?
11 more weeks to go.
So as the season gets going, I think if the Texans have a bad enough record, they might just say the hell with Burkhead and just give Damian Pierce everything. Then at that point, Damian Pierce could definitely be a league winner at that point because he'll be seeing everything. He has a lot of high upside. Like I said, we haven't seen his ceiling yet. Mike Evans is obviously going to get you almost probably a good touchdown and a half a game. I think as the season continues, you're definitely gonna win that trade. I think.
That's what I think.
I'm a Swift owner. I love Swift. He's awesome.
If Swift stays healthy, I just see him as a top 3 running back, bro. Fantasy wise, like
He's guaranteed top 3
I see him as
without
a
Jamal Williams. It's just I feel like Jamal Williams still
even with
caps his
Jamal
ceiling too
Williams.
much with those. You don't see any of the
He
goal line
does,
work.
and
though.
he's still ahead of currently with him getting hurt in week 3, full PPR. He's still ahead of Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette. He's still ahead of Aaron Jones, CMC. He's ahead of Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler. He's literally, up until last night, he was ahead of Joe Mixon, and that Joe Mixon caught an extra game on him. So even just up to 3 weeks, he was ahead of all those guys. He was the RB5 on the year.
For sure.
With Jamal Williams there.
The way I look at it, though, is DeAndre Swift, yes, he could give you an easy 25 to 30 points in a week, especially if he got those touchdowns. Mike Evans and Pierce could get you that and more in a week if they have those boom games. Like, I feel like
but
they both could.
That's one slot versus 2 slots.
Yeah, but I feel like you're getting more points with Mike Evans and Dameon Pierce long term for the season.
Well, obviously, I mean, if you combine the points, yes,
I mean, that's
sure.
what you
but
do.
I'm saying
though,
that's for
No,
that's not true. If you could get close to, that's not true, bro. Like if you could get a higher player, like let's say that was Jonathan Taylor. Let's say Jonathan Taylor had the exact same production that DeAndre Swift had, and then got hurt, and he's gonna be off the next 3 weeks with the bye week. Would you say that was a bad trade, or would you say you sold Jonathan Taylor for cheap? The exact same production.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's just coming down to a name thing, bro. That's what I think. I think people are seeing.
I guess
Because if it was Eckler, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan, like if it was them with the exact same production that Swift has had, I think people would be thinking a little bit differently. They're like, well, I think there would have been a lot better offers, and then they would have said that was a cheap sell.
I mean, I could.
I think y'all just.
Me personally, I still just think you won that trade. I do. Just for
I hope so.
Just for season long term.
If Dameon Pierce becomes startable, an every week starter, then yeah, I would say I won that trade. But that's still up in the air. That's part of making an early season trade.
Honestly, that makes your team looking pretty good at that point, and we're wide receivers. But you got two Tampa wide receivers. That's kind of scary with the way Brady's been.
And who's my QB?
Damn, and you got Brady that you went and picked up, and you got.
That's
Russell
right,
Gage.
baby.
What you just have 40 or
one last. I'm trying to get Fat Lenny. I'm just gonna take that week 11 bye and take that L, and I'm just gonna win every.
You got all the receivers. You just need the running back and the tight end at this point. Like,
oh, I don't want the tight end.
Hell no.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm in it for one last ride. Like it's a ride or die week. I was gonna say if I was 2-1, I'm not making that trade.
Oh no!
I'm not giving up DeAndre Swift.
I understand why you did the trade. You're 0-3.
You know what I'm saying?
You need to shake up your team at this point with some way or shape or form, and you did it giving up only one player. So, I mean,
so yeah.
Boy, I'd be.
But yeah, so hope. Oh, my lineup's not set.
Oh, okay.
Who you playing? Who you got?
I was just gonna say I would not be playing Rashad Bateman this week, bro.
Oh no, I'll probably put it in Dameon Pierce.
I was about to say I'd be plugging in Dameon Pierce over him. Maybe even I wouldn't plug.
But
Russell
if it turns into a shootout, Bateman's gonna be one of the touchdown catchers.
He could be, yeah. He very well could be. I still think Andrews just sews all those targets up over there.
He's so good.
Andrews gonna have a good
game.
He's gonna have a good game this week.
Oh, he's gonna be the tight end one this year, and I try to tell y'all, nobody want to listen to me.
All right, let's get through this last game.
Last game, Monday night. I lost it. The Rams were okay. Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Hopefully it's a shootout. Hopefully it's a fun Sunday night game. The Rams versus the Niners. Stafford and Garoppolo. You're not playing Jimmy G. You're gonna play Stafford as a low-end QB1. Akers and Henderson. It looks like Akers may be getting a little bit more touches now. Are you comfortable playing either one of those two guys?
Not against the 49ers defense, no.
Me either. What about Jeff Wilson?
I am playing Jeff Wilson, though. He is the guy over there. So He got the workhorse role over there, even with Jordan Mason. I mean, Jordan Mason only had 5 touches last week, so it's Jeff Wilson. He's going to get the bulk of the work.
Yeah, you're playing Jeff Wilson. Cooper Kupp, you sitting him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Against that Niners
Oh,
defense.
yeah, man.
You don't want to play him, bro.
Man, you better
He's
freaking
not
plug
that
him
good.
into the motherfucking lineup. You benching Cooper Kupp. Like,
Cooper Kupp.
you might as well trade him at that point. What's wrong
You're
with you?
overthinking shit.
Hell yeah.
Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's going to be amazing, as always.
That's about the only one
you
you
got
start.
Debo. Debo, he'll be serviceable. I don't think he's going to put up more than maybe what he's been putting up.
We need to see better.
I don't
play
think it's
from
going to be
Jimmy
his.
G.
I don't think it's going to be his breakout game. Let's just say that. I think Debo has kind of started. He's been solid, but he hasn't had that like league winning. I mean that week winning week yet, where 20-some points.
And last year he was on fire.
I think it's coming, but
he
not.
hasn't been like he was last year. So
yeah, it hasn't happened this week. I mean this year, and I don't think it's going to happen this week. What about Ayuk? Bench.
probably benching him. I mean, unless you need a flex play. I mean, he's a decent flex play, but
yeah,
I need a proven game from Jimmy G. Jimmy G has not looked
You
good.
think it's well, I mean, do you think it's going to come down? You think it's going to be a high scoring game or?
I think it's a pretty low scoring game. Honestly, I think it's more of a defensive oriented game this week.
Yeah, so it's going to be. And then what about Kittle?
Kittle, he's an automatic plug-in. Go ahead and fire him up. Yeah.
Higbee?
He's a good streamer this week, especially if you have Knox.
Would you rather play Allen Robinson or Brandon Ayuk?
Brandon Ayuk. I don't really want to play
Brandon Ayuk
or
Brandon Ayuk or DJ Moore?
Brandon Ayuk.
Oof.
DJ Moore just been sorry, bro.
DJ Moore or Romeo Dobbs rest of the season?
Romeo Dobbs. Better quarterback.
So if I offered you DJ Moore for Romeo Dobbs right now,
I would decline the hell out of it so fast.
Really?
I would, bro.
Disrespect.
Hey, if I'm not mistaken, Dobbs caught 8 for 8 targets last week. He had a touchdown, like over 100 yards. Like, if that doesn't gain Aaron Rodgers' trust, I don't know what will. And what is one of the key things for that passing game is to have Aaron Rodgers' trust. If you have his trust, he is going to throw you the freaking ball. And he didn't drop balls, so.
He didn't drop balls. Yeah, it's just they didn't really utilize the running backs, and their number one wide receiver or their number one pick, their higher picked wide receiver didn't play.
Right. No, I feel you. I mean, there's a lot of concerns still with that offense, but I feel
they weren't running because they played Tampa, no? Yeah, they were going to run against Tampa. Okay, well that concludes it. Who's your start of the week, bro? Who's like this guy must start? He ain't gonna miss.
Deontay Johnson, bro. I think Deontay Johnson is gonna have a big breakout week this week against the Jets. Honestly, he's been averaging like at least 10 plus targets a game. He's had decent games to start off the season, and there's been a lot of question marks with Trubisky being quarterback. I think this is a big 25-point game from Deontay Johnson this week, if not more. He's going to see a touchdown and over 100 yards.
All right. I'm not going to go. I'm going to go with start of the week.
And side note, Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert's a must start, bro.
All right, Khalil Herbert's a must start for sure. I'm gonna go with Treylon Burks. I'm gonna hang my hat on Treylon Burks. This is gonna be it. It's gonna be his breakout game, and I think low key, I think Richie James is gonna be good this week.
Yeah. One of those your sleeper.
If you're in a pinch, at least for this week, yeah, for sure. I think Richie James is gonna be really good. I think you play some DFS or something, I think you should definitely plug him in. If you're hurting out, if you're thinking about plugging in like I don't know, freaking Naheem Hines or something like that, no, bro, just put in Richie James. Stop playing. But yeah, that's it. And who's your bust of the week?
Man. Austin Eckler.
I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson
I think Austin Eckler is a big bust this week, bro.
against Houston.
Against Houston, he's probably gonna. Everybody's going in thinking he's gonna have a good game. He's been honestly like, just
He's
blah
been
this
having
year,
good games. He just but he's been good. He just doesn't get the end zone touches. So that's why he hasn't had great games. Like he still gets all the catches and rushes, or not most of the rushes, but he still gets all the receiving work. Yeah, I just don't think. I'm gonna say this is gonna be Lamar Jackson's bust game.
I can see that. I could definitely see the path for that. I don't want it to happen
Yeah.
because I have him in a league, but
Hey, me either. I got Mark Andrews. I'm
Yeah.
heavily invested in Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. But that defense is really good, and I think they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, chill." I could be opposite. Lamar Jackson could just put up another 50 piece and be like, "Nah, I'm here, mother effers. I'm better than Josh Allen.
he's
Quit
been
playing."
looking real good. MVP candidate right there, top of number one.
Yeah, if I let's see, I'll give you another one too. I'm gonna say, oh boy, I'm not comfortable starting.
Mike Williams.
I'm gonna say Debo.
I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah, I can see Debo having a bust game.
I can see that too.
But we definitely need to cut this shit down. This is way too long, bro. All right, from me and Nambo tonight. We'll holla at you next week. Dfdubb Scrubs, your fantasy plug. We out. Peace.
Dfdubb Scrubs coming up. Dfdubb Scrubs get the dubs. Dfdubb Scrubs is the plug. Dfdubb Scrubs showing love.